Today we're going to be talking about the elections and campaigns for our review session. However, I just want to give you guys the caveat that this PowerPoint matches directly with the textbook for the course that you have right now. And so the information for it is going to be based off from the 2008-2009 campaign seasons and not the two newest ones. And we will be having an updated session this April. Campaigns then and now. So the party has much less influence prior to the 1970s. We have a focus on the candidate now. We have media consultants, direct mail firms, polling firms, political technology firms. Very expensive. And of course, we also have the internet. Howard Dean was one of the first to use very small donations. As we can see here, for our presidential fundraising expenditures from 1976 to 2008, we can see how it has increased exponentially. Raised 171 to 1.81 billion with a plus of 1.69 billion dollars. Once again, television and radio 4.19 million, the largest piece of the pie chart. Print, internet now is a large piece as well. Other, and then consultants as well. How do presidential and congressional campaigns differ? Running for president. Money, private and public. Lots of organization, lots of strategy and themes. Getting elected to Congress, you have to win the primary. And it's all about staying in office. Media. We have slip-ups, sound bites, use free media, and also the cost of the media is very expensive. What advantages does an incumbent have? We receive more political action committee money. We have more mailings or franks because you're allowed to use the money that is given to you within Congress, name recognition, and sophomore surge. Changes in state representation in the House of Representatives, as you can see with the gained seats and lost seats. We're looking at the 1990 and 2000 census. Primary versus general campaigns. Two kinds of campaign issues. We have position and balance. Balance is an overarching issue. It's one that everybody can get behind, such as prosperity. Position is one that not everybody is behind. It's ideological. We have television, debates, and direct mail. Nominations, the must-know information. Please make sure to view the Road to the White House video for assignment 4.08. We have an open versus closed primary. Open primaries is where an independent voter or somebody that is not registered with one of the primaries or one of the parties is allowed to vote for whoever they like and get a ballot. Even if you're a Democrat, it's an open ballot. You may vote for a Republican. Closed primary, like we have in Florida. You go in, you have your party preference, and you get the party ballot. We have caucuses. You have to know the changes in the nomination process. Example, the Congressional Caucus. And to know what superdelegates are. The criticisms of the nomination process. Early primaries receive too much emphasis. The Iowa caucus is first test of appeal. The length is extended. Too much power in the media. Candidates ignore responsibilities of elected office. In order to win primaries, you need to act. How things work. Qualifications for entering Congress and privileges of serving in Congress. For a representative, you must be 25 years old, you must be a citizen, and you must inhabit the state from which you're elected. For a senator, you must be 30 years old, citizen of the United States for at least 9 years, must be an inhabitant of the state from which you are elected. Judging qualifications. Each house is the judge of the elections, returns, and qualifications of its members. Thus, Congress alone can decide disputed congressional elections. On occasion, it has excluded a person from taking a seat on the grounds that the election was improper. Either house can punish a member by reprimand, for example, or by 2/3 vote expel a member. Members of Congress have certain privileges, the most important of which, conferred by the Constitution, is that for any speech or debate in either house, they should be questioned any other place. This doctrine of privileged speech has been interpreted by the Supreme Court to mean that members of Congress cannot be sued or prosecuted for anything that they say or write in connection with their legislative duties. Close spin vote. The vote cast by a person who does not like either candidate and so votes for the less objectionable of the two, putting a clothespin over his or her nose to keep out the unpleasant stench. Money, or voting for the lesser of two evils. The sources of campaign money is something you need to know. Campaign finance rules. A second campaign finance law bans soft money, limits raise from $1,000 to $2,000, bans individual contributions 60 days before the election. Citizens United case, you need to know that, with corporations are people too, and they have free speech. How things work. In general, all federal election contributions and expenditures are reported to a Federal Election Commission. All contributions over $100 must be disclosed in name, address, and occupation. No cash contributions over $100 or foreign contributions. No ceiling on how much candidates may spend out of their own money unless they accept federal funding for a presidential race. Individual contributions, you cannot give more than $2,000 to any candidate in any election. An individual may not make federal political gifts exceeding $95,000 every 2 years, of which only $37,500 may go to candidates. PACs, each corporation, union, or association may establish one. They must register 6 months in advance, have at least 50 contributors, and give to at least 5 candidates. PAC contributions may not exceed $5,000 per candidate per election or $15,000 to a national political party. No corporation or union may give money from its own treasury to any national political party. Independent expenditures. Corporation, unions, and associations may not use their own money to fund electioneering communications that refer to a clearly identifiable candidate 60 days before a general election or 30 days before a primary contest. Political action committees may fund electioneering communications up to their own expenditure limits. Federal matching funds can be given to match individual contributions of $250 or less. To be eligible, a candidate must raise $5,000 in each of the 20 states in contributions of $250 or less. The federal government will pay all campaign costs up to a legal limit of major party candidates and part of the cost of minor party candidates, whose winning is between 5 and 25% of the vote. Here's the growth of political action committees, as we can see a huge spike between 2003 and 2005. Top 20 PAC contributors to federal candidates, Democratic and Republican. The top one, as we see here, is the National Association of Realtors. Landmark cases for financing elections. Buckley v. Vallejo, 1976, held that a law limiting contributions to political campaigns was constitutional, but that one restricting a candidate's expenditures of his or her own money was not. McConnell v. Federal Election Commission, 2002, upheld a law prohibiting corporations and labor unions from running ads that mention candidates and their positions for 60 days before a general election. What decides the election? Party, issues, especially the economy, prospective and retrospective voting, the campaign, finding a winning coalition, and people vote based on self-interest.